Hey everyone, welcome back to my Pilates channel, Pilates with LJ. We've got a lovely, probably going to be around 30-minute Pilates session. We're going to really obviously work the core. It's Pilates, we always work the core, and then we're going to go around into our 4-point kneeling position, and we're going to do a bit of teaser prep, and then we're going to finish off with some lovely back exercises as well. So let's get started. We're going to start in seated position. So bring yourself down onto your mat. Feet are going to be hip width apart, knees in line with feet, and hips, and well, knees in line with your hips as well. Nice bend in the knees, and just bring yourself onto your sit bones. So just have a little wiggle, bring yourself round onto your sit bones, and then just lift up through the crown of your head as well. So just do a few shoulder rolls here, circle those shoulders, try and release any tension you might have in those shoulders, and then change direction. Good. And then from here, just relax your arms down on your knees or on your shins, whatever's comfortable. And we're just going to do a bit of Pilates breathing. So in through our nose, out through our mouth. And as you inhale, I want you to fill up the sides and the backs of those lungs. So you're really kind of expanding through the backs and the sides of the ribs rather than lifting the chest up. And then as we exhale, exhale through your mouth, and then we're really drawing that belly button, feeling that belly button draw in towards the spine and feeling the lift up under the ribs as well. So let's just do a few breaths here. So in through the nose, shoulders down, ribs out wide, and then exhale. Good. Belly button to spine. Inhale again and exhale. Good, just lift up through the crown of the head, make sure you're sitting nice and tall. We'll just do 2 more. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Feel that belly button draw to spine. One last one, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. Okay, now from here, place your hands just behind your, under your knees, behind the thighs. Nice and kind of, you're not gripping for life behind there, just a nice kind of firm grip. And then from there, we're going to tuck our tailbone under, so spin that tailbone under, scoop through the belly, and get a lovely curve through the spine. Shoulders are still wide, so you're not kind of hunching those shoulders, you're keeping those shoulders wide, and still a lift through the crown of the head. And then from there, we're going to bring our shoulders over our hips, and then scoop ourselves back up to a nice tall seated position. So tuck that tailbone under, scoop through the belly, and then bringing yourself back, shoulders over hips, lifting yourself back up. And go again, tuck that tailbone under, scoop through the belly, and then bringing yourself back up. So we're getting a really nice bit of spinal mobility movement through here. We're firing up that core. And if we're needing to, we're using those arms just to help us back up into that seated position. So really tucking that tailbone under, scooping through the belly. You should really be able to feel your belly working here. And then bring your shoulders over hips and coming back up to a nice seated position. When we're in this nice tall seated position, just try and tuck that chin in ever so slightly, because you might have found that you've been like sticking your chin out a lot, leaning forwards if you've been working or if you're just doing a lot of scrolling. So just pull that chin in as well. Okay, let's do 2 more here. So tuck that tailbone under, scoop the belly in, curve through the spine, and then bring shoulders over hips and pulling yourself upright. Okay, one last one. And then we're going to progress this ever so slightly. So scooping through the belly, and then shoulders over hips and bringing yourself upright. Okay, so next up we are going to, similar sort of thing. So tuck that tailbone under, scoop through the belly, and then if you're feeling strong enough, we're going to raise those arms up, hold them there for a moment, bring them back down, and then roll yourself back up. So tuck that tailbone under, raise those arms up, nice strong arms reaching up to the ceiling, scooping through the belly, back down, and then coming back up to a nice seated position. So tucking that tailbone under, scooping back, arms up, down, and rolling yourself back up. Sitting up nice and tall, resetting, thinking about that posture each time you come back to that seated position. So let's do 2 more here. Rolling back, arms up, hold, reaching to the ceiling, scooping through the belly, hands down, and then reach yourself back up. One last one, tuck that tailbone under, scoop through that belly, arms up, hold, and then bring yourself back. Okay, we're going to progress this on ever so slightly. So we're still staying in the seated position, and we're still going to roll back. We're just going to change the arm movement. So tuck that tailbone under, roll back. Arms are going to float up in a kind of circle. So make sure those elbows are up, they aren't sagging down. And from there, we're going to open that chest up, bring those elbows back, and then come back, hands to center. So we're really getting a nice kind of movement through the spine here. So we're kind of straightening the spine, and then we're going back into that nice C curve. And we're going to do another 4, 3, still scooping through that belly, 2, elbows lifted, and 1. Hold that there, and then lean back, arms under the thighs, roll shoulders over hips, and come back up to seated. Okay. We're going to change it up a bit this time. So we're just going to roll back, hold those arms there. We're going to have those arms up, and then from there we're going to raise one, and then we're going to raise the other, and then we're going to raise both, and we're going to hold, scooping through that belly, still breathing, arms down, hands under thighs, roll yourself back up. So we're going to do 3 more of those. So tuck that tailbone under, scoop back, scooping through the belly, arms up, elbows up, raise one arm, raise the other arm, and then raise both. Hold it there, scoop through that belly, hands down, and then bring yourself back up. 2 more. Tuck that tailbone under, scooping through that belly, arms up, raise one arm, raise the other, and then both arms. Hold that there, hands down behind the thighs, scoop yourself back up. One last one. So, sorry, I really just breathed into my microphone there. One arm up, other arm, and then both arms up. Hold that there, scooping through that belly, lengthening through the crown of the head still, hands behind the thighs, and then bring yourself back up to seated. Good work. Okay, so we're going to just wiggle down your mat a bit. We're going to place our hands behind the thighs, and we're just going to roll ourselves down into the mat. So we are now down on the mat. Bring your feet so they're a little bit closer towards your bum. I just want you to have a little wiggle with your bum here. So just make sure that the hips are nice and level. And then from there, we're going to do some pelvic tilts. So we're just going to completely imprint the back into the mat. So you're slightly tucking that tailbone under, scooping through the abdominals. And then we're going to arch through the back. So you're lifting the lower back away from the mat, sticking the bum into the mat, and then going back the other way. So just do a few of these. We're just getting that movement through the lower back. We're easing off any kind of discomfort or anything that might be there, and we're just making sure it feels okay before we move on. Okay, so let's just do 2 more. So completely imprinting and then arching back, and one last time, imprint and arch back. Now from here, I want you to bring your pelvis into what feels like the middle, and that should be your neutral spine. That is your nice neutral spine. So you're nice and level, kind of front and back and side to side. So from here, we're just going to do a couple of leg lifts just to make sure that core is firing. So arms down by your sides, palms facing into the mat. And we're just going to keep that nice neutral spine. So just to begin with, raise one leg, lower it down, and then raise the other leg and lower it down. Now this time, when you lift that leg, float that leg up, I really want you to exhale and scoop that belly towards the spine. So exhale, scoop that belly towards the spine. You should hopefully really feel that core fire up, and then just relax that back down. That pelvis and those hips should stay completely still as well. So there shouldn't be any rocking backwards and forwards or side to side. exhale, float that leg up, and then bring that leg back down. So hopefully we have a really nice firing core. So we're going to take our hands up behind our head. So just interlace the fingers. Our head's going to stay nice and heavy in our hands. So we're not pulling our head up with our hands when we do these exercises. It's going to be heavy in our hands. Our elbows are going to stay nice and wide. And I just want you to check in with those ribs, because now we've taken those hands up above our head, what you might have found is your ribs have popped up off the mat and they're kind of popping out. So just pull those ribs down, use those abs, pull those ribs down towards the hips, hands back behind the head. And we're going to curl up. So inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, you're going to curl yourself up. Imagine you've got a ball here that you're lifting your head and your chest up and around. Keeping those elbows wide, eyes are gazing in between those knees. And then you're going to curl back down. So really slow, gentle movement just to begin with. Starting to fire up those abdominals and that core. And we're thinking about sliding those ribs down towards the hips. Good. So keep going with these. As you come up, I want you to check that that pelvis is still in neutral. So what you will find is when you come up, your pelvis will want to tilt and tailbone will stick under, pubic bone will come towards you. So try and counteract that just for these exercises. Just really trying to strengthen that core. Good. Curling up and then coming back down. We're going to do another 4 here. Eyes are gazing in between those knees. Ribs are remaining in the mat. They will want to pop up. And elbows are staying wide, head heavy into your hands. Okay, one last one. Curling up, hold it there. Now from here, I want you to reach those hands forward. And then I want you just to try and pull your shoulders up a little bit further. Hold that there. And then hands back and roll back down. So we're going to curl up again. Hold that there. Reach those hands forward. Curl up a little more. Hands back and roll back down. Exhale, curling up, elbows wide. Reach those arms forward. Reach those arms towards, try and get towards those legs. And then hands back and down. Okay, let's do another. I can't remember if I said it, how many more we were doing, but we're going to do another 2. So curl yourself up, reach those arms, hands back, and then curl back down again. So one last time. Exhale, curling up, elbows wide, reach those hands forwards. Hold that there just for a minute, lifting up through the crown of the head, and then hands back and curl back down. Just have a little breather there, make sure everything's feeling okay. So from here, we are going to move on to our next exercise. So a similar sort of thing, but this time we're going to extend the legs out. Have those legs nice and long and straight. Hands are coming up behind the head. We're going to go into our curl ups again, and this time, as when we get to the top, we're going to hold it there, and then we're going to bring a leg up to join us. So inhale, prepare, and then exhale, curl yourself up. Now from here, you're going to bring one leg up, and then I want you just to hold that there, and then curl back down again. Lower the other leg. And then this time we're curling up, bringing the other leg up to join you, and then curling back down again. So you're bringing your leg up and towards the tabletop position. You're curling up and you're keeping those elbows wide. And the slower you do this, the harder it will be because there isn't any momentum. So make sure you're going nice and slowly, you're not rushing through it. Okay, let's do another 4 here, I think. 4, 3, 2, still scooping through that belly button. One last one. Good. Okay, this time we are going to just progress this again ever so slightly. We're going to bring one leg up into tabletop. The other leg is then going to stay down on the mat. We're going to curl ourselves up and we're going to lift that other leg up to join it and then lower it back down. And you're going to do this. Lift and lower. You're holding that head up. You're scooping through that belly. And we're going to go for another 4, 3, 2, keep those elbows wide. One last one, lower, lift up, leg into tabletop, curl that head down. Inhale, exhale, relax. And then this time, reset yourself. Inhale, prepare, curl yourself up, and then extend the other leg away, and we're going to lift and lower that leg. Still scooping through that belly. Elbows nice and wide. We've got 2 more here. 1 and 2. Nice. Hug those knees in towards the chest. Give those knees a circle. Loosen off the hips. Make sure everything feels okay. Really hug those knees in towards the chest. Get a little bit of a back massage as well. Okay, and then from there, we are going to come over onto our 4-point kneeling. So if you roll over, bring yourself up onto your hands and knees. We are going to have our hands under our shoulders, knees under our hips, and knees are hip width apart. So we're going to slide one leg away, just falling off the end of my mat, just walk forwards a little bit. So slide one leg away. As you do that, you will probably find that your weight will be a bit unsettled. So try and bring yourself back to center. Keep these hips nice and level. And try and have your weight evenly distributed between those hands. Pushing the mat away. And we're scooping up through the belly, through the whole of this. So we're keeping that core nice and strong and engaged. And then from there, we're just going to lift and lower that leg. So we're lifting and lowering with control. Same speed on the way up and same speed on the way back down. And we're going to go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now from there, we're going to flex the foot, keeping that leg in line with that hip. Have a quick look and check. Knee stays in line with the hip the whole time, and we're going to curl that foot in and then extend the leg away. Flexing to curl, pointing to extend. And we're going to go for another 4, 3, keeping that head lifted. We're not allowing the head to drop down. 2, and 1. Nice. Okay, now from here, we are going to bring that leg back down. The knee's going to hover up off the mat, and we're going to take the knee out to the side and then bring it back. So keeping the knee in that nice bent position. And we're taking the leg out to the side and then lowering it back down. And we're going to go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now from here, sliding that leg back out, lifting that leg over, and we're going to bring that leg out to the side, tap the floor, and then take the leg to the other side, tap the floor. So we're getting a really nice kind of rainbow movement here. So we're lifting it up, arching, and then taking it back down to the mat. Good. And we're going to go for 4, 3, 2, still scooping through that core, keeping those hips nice and level. One last one. Bring it back to center, bring the knee back down, push that bum towards the heels, reach those arms forward. Have a little breather. And then from there, we've got to do the other side. So I'm just going to turn around. You guys don't need to. So other side. When you're ready, extend that leg out. Let me just falling off my mat again. Okay, so extend that leg away. Bring those hips so they're nice and level. And Make sure that weight's nice and evenly distributed. You're not leaning heavily over into one side. So when you're ready, scooping through that core, and we're going to lift and lower that back leg. Good. Imagine someone's pulling that leg away, so you're really thinking about lengthening it. And we're going to go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, bring that leg up so the knee's in line with the hips. Flex the foot, and we're going to curl the leg in. So we're keeping these hips nice and level. The core's really working here. You're pushing the mat away with those hands still. And you're not allowing that knee to drop. I always have to check because I don't realise when I've done it. So we're going to go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now from here, bend that knee back in, and we're taking the leg out to the side. So keeping that knee in that nice bent position, lifting up to the side, and then lowering back down. Make sure your weights, try and keep your weight as evenly as possible between those hands. And we're going to go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that leg back down, slide that leg out, and we're going to go into those rainbows. So out to the side, and then over to the other side. Really trying to lift that leg up, but still keeping that core engaged. You're not allowing those hips and the pelvis to wobble around and arch all over the place. And we're going to go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that leg back to center, slide it back down, bum to heels, reach these arms forward, and just have a good old stretch. Nice. Okay, so when you're ready, bring yourself back up, bring yourself forward, back into that nice seated position, and we're going to go into some teaser prep. So we are going to have our feet, so they're, again, knees are in line with hips and feet are in line with knees. And we're going to be in that nice seated position we were in before. And then from there, we are just going to have our hands behind our thighs, rock ourselves back a bit. So we've got a nice soft C shape, C curve going through that lower back. Our chest is nice and open. And we're going to lift one leg up into tabletop and then lift the other leg up into tabletop. So when you're in this position, you're scooping through that belly. You're still lifting up through the crown of the head. And I want you to try and imagine you're lengthening through these legs as well. Even though they're bent, you can still have a feeling of lengthening and lifting through these legs. And then we're just holding this here. We're just checking in with our balance, keeping that chest nice and open and lifted, nice and proud. And then we're going to go into toe taps. So we're going to lower one leg down, and then we're going to lower the other leg down. Now, if this is hard, use those hands if it's hard to lift that leg back up. Good. And we're going to go for another 4, 3, good, 2, and 1. Now, come back to that starting position, hold those legs there, and then from there, we're going to extend one leg away, bend it back, and then extend the other leg away, bend it back. So, we're still lifting up through the crown of the head. That chest is still nice and wide. We're really challenging our balance. And we're going to go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, from here, we are going to hold this balance. Hold those legs there. We're going to really go into those hip flexors now. And we're going to raise those arms up and then bring them back down. So like we were doing earlier, we've just progressed it on. Good. Oh, hold that balance. Don't worry if you wobble. And we're going to go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Hold that there. Reach those arms up. forwards, look up towards those hands, and then bring yourself back down. Whew. Give those legs a little shake, release those hip flexors. It's a lot of hard work on them, and we're going to spin back round. So we're coming back down, and this time we're coming all the way down into the mat. So I want your hands to be in a nice box shape, so elbows in line with shoulders and hands in line with elbows. Legs are straight down on the mat, toes turned out slightly and heels rolled in slightly. And we're going to go into some nice back extensions. So relax yourself down into the mat, forehead on the mat to begin with. Inhale, prepare, and as we exhale, I want you to feel that tailbone tuck under, scoop up through the belly, and then we're just going to extend that head away. Inhale, come back down, and then exhale, slide those shoulder blades down and extend the head away. So imagine you have a kind of ball under your face or something, and you're rolling that ball away. So you're not just lifting up, you're trying to lengthen through the spine. You're still lengthening through the crown of the head. Inhale, back down. Exhale, tucking that tailbone under, lifting up through the belly button. And we're going to go for 4, 3, really feeling those shoulder blades sliding down, 2, and one last one. Hold that there. Scoop that belly up, feel the pubic bone pushing into the mat, lengthen through the crown of the head, slide those shoulder blades down, and then inhale, come back down. Okay, now from here, we're going to take those legs so they are straight back. We're then going to take those hands so they are down by our sides. And then from here, we're going to inhale, prepare, and as we exhale, we're just going to slide those hands down our back. Change it so that our hands were facing up towards the ceiling. Now they're facing towards your thighs. Slide those hands and open that chest. Inhale, come back down. Exhale. So you're still trying to tuck that tailbone under. You're still scooping up through the belly button, and you're still getting that length through the crown of the head. We've just progressed it on ever so slightly because we've taken those arms away, and we're now trying to open that chest even further and lengthen even more. Okay, let's go for another 4, 3, 2, really exhaling, inhale, come back down, and one last one. Good, hold that there. Lengthen, try and reach those hands away, lengthen through the crown of the head, scooping through the belly, and relax back down. Now from here, we're going to take those hands so they're straight up above us, our legs are straight back, and we're going to go into swimming. So just to begin with, we're just going to do a quick prep, make sure everything's feeling okay. So forehead on the mat, we're going to raise one arm up off the mat and then lower it back down. Exhale, raise the other arm up off the mat, and then inhale, lower it back down. We're going down to the legs, so we're going to exhale, one leg floats off the mat, keep that hip pushing into the mat, you should be able to feel it. Inhale, come back down. Exhale, the other hips in the mat, legs floating up off the mat. Good, now this time we're going to progress it slightly, and we're going to have opposite arm, opposite leg. So inhale, prepare, and then as you exhale, float opposite arm, opposite leg up off the mat, and then inhale, come back down. Going to the other side, opposite arm, opposite leg, and then come back down. Exhale, opposite arm, opposite leg, come back down, and exhale again, other side, scooping through that belly. Good, let's do one more on each side. So exhale, coming up, inhale, coming down. One last time, exhale and come up. Okay, let's progress this on again. So this time we're going to inhale, prepare, and as we exhale, we're going to float both arms and legs up. So they're all off the mat, and then we're going to pulse, little pulsing movements. Hips are nice and level. There's no real rocking from side to side. It's only the arms and legs that are moving. And we're going to go for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax down. Have a breather. And we're going to do that one more time. And this time when you're fluttering those arms and legs, I really want you to think that someone's pulling the arms and pulling the legs. So try and go for length through those arms and legs. So inhale, prepare. And then exhale, float those arms and legs up off the mat, scoop through the belly and start pulsing. And we're going to go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax down. From there, bring your hands so they're under the shoulders. Well done. And then push yourself back up onto your hands and your knees. We're going to inhale, prepare, and as we exhale, we're going to go from the tailbone all the way up to the shoulders. Scooping through that belly, tucking that tailbone under, and then going back the other way. Still lifting up through that belly, tucking that tailbone under, rippling all the way up through to the crown of the head, and then going back the other way. Okay, now from here, bring yourself to a nice flat back, bum to heels, and we're going to do a couple of stretches. So we're going to do a really good stretch for the hip flexors because they've really had a working in this session. So come into a nice kneeling position. Just make sure that foot's under that knee and this knee is under this hip. So find your balance, and we're just going to really exaggerate this movement. So really stick your tailbone out and then really tuck the tailbone under. Just really try and make it as big as possible, because in a minute we're going to stick the tailbone out, and then this time really tuck that tailbone under, and you should hopefully start to feel a bit of a stretch going here. If you can feel that stretch and that's enough, that's fine. If you want a bit more, just lean these hips forward ever so slightly, not much at all, and just hold that there, and that should be a really nice intense hip flexor stretch. If you're not feeling it, you need to tuck that tailbone under more. Hold that there for a few more moments. And then release. Give it a shake. Give yourself a little shake. Make sure it feels okay. And then when you're ready, stick that tailbone out. Tuck the tailbone under. And we're just going to go again and hold that stretch there. Again, if you can't feel that stretch, tuck that tailbone under more and then lean forwards. Hold that there. And then release. Good. Okay. Changing sides. So bring the other foot up into that kneeling position. Stick the tailbone out. Tuck the tailbone under. Really exaggerate it. And then this time really stick that tailbone out and then tuck it under, lifting up through the front of the leg, and then just lean into that thigh. Lean forwards a little. It's a really small movement. You don't have to lean very far forwards. Hold that stretch there. And then release. Give it a little wiggle, make sure everything feels okay. And then when you're ready, tuck that tailbone under and then lean forwards if you need to. Good. Hold that there. And then we're going to come down into a nice seated position. We're going to have our legs so they are out in a nice wide position. Legs are going to be straight and wide, and we're going to lift up through the crown of the head. If this is really uncomfortable, grab a cushion and stick your bum on the cushion. Just raise up those hips, and that should hopefully help that a little bit. If that's still really uncomfortable, do have your legs so they're in a nice kind of frog position. And then from here, we're going to have our arms nice and lifted in front, and we're going to scoop through the belly and just stretch through the spine. And then come back up to seated. And then coming forwards. So you're reaching those arms forwards. You're reaching through the crown of your head as well. but your hips are staying completely still. So the curve is coming through your spine. So I don't want your hips to do that. You're not leaning forwards like that. You're trying to keep those hips there and then curve through that spine, scooping through the belly and then coming back up to that nice seated position, lifting through the crown of your head, tucking that chin in. One last time, scoop through the belly, reaching forwards and then coming back up. Nice. Okay, now this time we are going to hinge at the hips. So just have those legs out so they're in front of you. If that's really hard, do have your legs so they're bent, and we're just going to hinge at the hips, and you should hopefully get a nice stretch down through the hamstrings. Have those legs out straight if you need to, and even if you're just sat there and just pull those toes towards you, should hopefully feel a really good stretch down through the backs of your legs. Just hold that there, lifting up through the chest. You're hinging at the hips now, so I do want you to hinge at the hips. You're not bending at the waist. And then release, give those legs a shake, inhale, and then exhale, hinge at those hips and feel the stretch down through the backs of those legs. And release. Good. And that is you done. I hope you enjoyed it. That's your Pilates session finished. If you enjoyed it, please do subscribe, click the like button, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and yeah, we'll make some more videos. Cheers, bye.